What would you do if a single Instagram story destroyed your entire world? If one casual scroll through social media revealed that the two people you trusted most were living a lie? Today, I'm sharing Jennifer's story. And trust me, you'll want to stick around for this one because what she discovered will shock you to your core. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because stories like this one will leave you questioning everyone in your life. Now, let's dive in.
Meet Jennifer Martinez, a 26-year-old graphic designer living in Denver. By all accounts, she had the perfect life. A successful career, a cozy apartment, and most importantly, a loving relationship with her boyfriend of 3 years, Ethan. Ethan was everything Jennifer thought she wanted in a partner. Charming, ambitious, and seemingly devoted. They talked about marriage, about buying a house together, about their future. But what Jennifer didn't know was that while she was planning their forever, Ethan was planning something entirely different. And then there was Alicia, Jennifer's best friend since college, the maid of honor at her sister's wedding, the person she called when she needed advice about Ethan, the woman she trusted with her deepest secrets. But here's the thing about trust. Sometimes the people closest to us are the ones capable of the deepest betrayal. And Jennifer was about to learn this lesson in the most devastating way possible. It all started on what seemed like an ordinary Tuesday evening. Jennifer was at home, tired from a long day at work, mindlessly scrolling through Instagram stories while waiting for Ethan to come home from what he claimed was another late night at the office. Little did she know that casual scroll was about to change everything. But before I tell you what she saw, let me give you some context about what had been happening in the weeks leading up to this moment, because the signs were there, she just hadn't connected the dots yet. For the past month, Jennifer had noticed subtle changes in Ethan's behavior. He was working late more often, always on his phone, and strangely protective of it. When she'd joke about looking at something on his phone, he'd quickly pull it away with a nervous laugh. Then there were the unexplained expenses. Jennifer noticed charges on their shared credit card, expensive dinners at restaurants she'd never been to, cocktail bars in parts of the city they rarely visited. When she asked Ethan about them, he always had an explanation. Oh, that was a client's dinner. You know how it is with the Peterson account. Jennifer wanted to believe him. She loved him after all. And Ethan had always been ambitious about his marketing career. If working late and client dinners were what it took to get ahead, she could live with that. But then there was Alicia's behavior. Her best friend had become distant, canceling their regular coffee dates and girls' nights. When they did hang out, Alicia seemed distracted, constantly checking her phone and giving vague answers about her love life. So, what's going on with you in dating? You've been so secretive lately. Oh, you know me. Just keeping my options open. Nothing serious. Nothing serious. Those words would haunt Jennifer later. But at the time, she just assumed Alicia was going through her usual dating drama. Jennifer was actually excited for her friend. She'd been single for almost a year and deserved to find someone special. What Jennifer didn't realize was that Alicia had found someone special. Someone very familiar. Someone who was supposed to be off-limits. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me tell you about that Tuesday evening when Jennifer's world came crashing down. Because what she saw on that Instagram story, well, let's just say some images burn themselves into your memory forever. It was 8:47 p.m. when Jennifer opened Instagram. Ethan had texted her an hour earlier saying he'd be home late, again. Some urgent project that couldn't wait until morning. Jennifer had gotten used to these messages. She was absent-mindedly tapping through Instagram stories. Her coworker's lunch, her sister's new haircut, her cousin's baby photos. Just the usual social media scroll we all do when we're bored and waiting. And then she saw Alicia's story. It was a simple photo, a beautifully plated pasta dish at what looked like an upscale Italian restaurant. The kind of place Jennifer had always wanted to try, but Ethan always said was too expensive for a regular date night. But it wasn't the food that made Jennifer's heart stop. It was what she saw in the background of the photo. There, slightly blurred but unmistakable, was a man's hand reaching across the table. A hand wearing a very familiar watch. The same vintage Rolex that Jennifer had given Ethan for his birthday last year. Jennifer's breath caught in her throat. She screenshot the story immediately, her hands shaking as she zoomed in on the image. There was no doubt about it. That was Ethan's watch. But how could that be? He was supposed to be at work. Maybe it was a coincidence. Maybe lots of people had that same watch. Maybe she was just being paranoid. But then Jennifer noticed something else in the photo. In the corner of the frame, barely visible, was the edge of a men's dress shirt. The same blue shirt with white pinstripes that she had helped Ethan pick out for his important client meeting that morning. Jennifer felt like she was going to be sick. Her mind was racing, trying to come up with any reasonable explanation. But deep down, she already knew the truth. She just wasn't ready to accept it yet. With trembling fingers, she went back to look at Alicia's story again. But it was gone. Deleted. As if it had never existed. But Jennifer had the screenshot. Proof of something she couldn't quite understand yet, but knew was wrong. Very wrong. What happened next would determine not just the fate of Jennifer's relationship, but also her friendship with Alicia. Because Jennifer was about to make a decision that would expose secrets neither Ethan nor Alicia thought would ever come to light. But before I tell you what Jennifer did with that screenshot, let me tell you about the text message she received just 5 minutes later. A message that would confirm her worst fears and change everything forever. As Jennifer sat there staring at the screenshot, her phone buzzed with a text message. It was from Ethan. "Hey babe, going to be even later than expected. This client is being really demanding. Don't wait up for me. Love you. Love you." Those words felt like daggers now. Jennifer looked at the timestamp of Alicia's deleted story. It was posted just 20 minutes ago. Which meant while Ethan was texting her about his demanding client, he was actually having a romantic dinner with her best friend. Jennifer's first instinct was to call him immediately and demand answers. But something stopped her. Maybe it was intuition, or maybe it was the need to know the full truth before confronting them. Either way, she decided to do some detective work first. She opened Ethan's Instagram profile and started scrolling through his recent activity. At first, everything looked normal. Work events, gym selfies, photos with Jennifer. But then she noticed something strange. In several of his recent photos, there were comments from Alicia. Nothing obviously flirtatious, but they had an intimacy to them that Jennifer had never noticed before. "Looking good as always, wish I was there. Can't wait to see you later." Jennifer felt sick. How had she missed these? How long had this been going on right under her nose? But Jennifer wasn't done investigating. She remembered that Ethan had started going to a new gym about 2 months ago. A gym that happened to be right next to Alicia's apartment building. At the time, he said it was more convenient for his work schedule. Now, Jennifer was wondering if convenience had nothing to do with it. She opened her laptop and did something she never thought she'd do. She logged into their shared credit card account and started going through the charges more carefully. What she found made her heart sink even further. The expensive dinners weren't just random dates. They followed a pattern. Every Tuesday and Thursday for the past 6 weeks. The same nights Ethan claimed to be working late. The same nights Alicia had been mysteriously unavailable for their usual hangouts. But the most damning evidence was yet to come. Because as Jennifer dug deeper into their financial records, she found something that would prove this betrayal went far beyond just dinner dates. There was a charge she'd never seen before. A charge that would reveal just how serious Ethan and Alicia's relationship had become. And when Jennifer saw what that charge was for, she realized that her 3-year relationship with Ethan was built on lies far bigger than she'd ever imagined. But before I reveal what that charge was, let me tell you about the phone call Jennifer made next. Because what started as a quest for truth was about to become a confrontation that would destroy not one, but 2 of the most important relationships in her life. The charge that Jennifer found was for a jewelry store. An expensive jewelry store downtown. The amount? $3,200. The date? Last Friday. The same day Ethan had told Jennifer he was working overtime to save money for their future together. Jennifer felt like she was living in a nightmare. While she had been planning their future, Ethan had been spending thousands of dollars on jewelry for her best friend. That's when Jennifer made a decision that would change everything. Instead of confronting Ethan directly, she decided to call Alicia first. She needed to hear the truth from someone she had trusted for over 5 years. Her hands were shaking as she dialed Alicia's number. Part of her hoped that somehow there was an innocent explanation for everything she discovered. Maybe she was wrong. Maybe there was a reasonable explanation. The phone rang once.
Twice.
3 times. Finally, Alicia answered, but something was off about her voice. She sounded nervous. Hey, Jen. What's up? It's kind of late. Hey, I was just wondering what you did tonight. You seemed to post something on your story and then delete it. There was a long pause. Too long. In that silence, Jennifer heard everything she needed to know. Oh, I just went out for dinner. Nothing special.
Why?
Where did you go? The food looked really good.
I
don't really remember the name. Some Italian place downtown. Jennifer's heart was pounding. Alicia was lying to her face. Her best friend, the person who had been her maid of honor, was lying about having dinner with her boyfriend. Were you alone? Another long pause. Jennifer could practically hear Alicia's mind racing, trying to come up with a story. Yeah, just me. You know me. Treating myself to a nice dinner. That was it. The final lie Jennifer needed to hear. Because she knew that Alicia hadn't been alone. She had been with Ethan. Her Ethan. Alicia, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest with me. Of course, Jen. What is it? Jennifer took a deep breath. What she was about to ask would either clear up a terrible misunderstanding or end 2 of the most important relationships in her life. Are you seeing Ethan? The silence that followed was deafening. It stretched on for what felt like hours but was probably only seconds. And in that silence, Jennifer got her answer. But what Alicia said next would be even more devastating than the silence. Because not only was she about to confess to the betrayal, she was also about to reveal something about Ethan that would shatter everything Jennifer thought she knew about the man she loved. At 11:43 p.m., Jennifer heard Ethan's key in the door. She was sitting on their couch, the screenshot of Alicia's story open on her phone, ready for the conversation that would end everything. Hey babe, sorry I'm so late. That client was absolutely impossible tonight. Jennifer looked at him, really looked at him. This man she had loved for 3 years, planned a future with, trusted completely. And now she saw him for what he really was. How was dinner at Romano's? Ethan froze. Romano's was the Italian restaurant from Alicia's Instagram story. What are you talking about? I was at the office. Ethan, I know. I know about Alicia. I know about the others. I know about the jewelry. I know everything. For a moment, Ethan looked like he might continue lying. But then something shifted in his expression. Maybe it was relief at finally being caught, or maybe it was just exhaustion from keeping up the charade. How long have you known? Does it matter? The question is, how long has this been going on? What Ethan said next would be the final nail in the coffin of their relationship. Jennifer, you're a great girl, but you were never enough for me. I need excitement, variety. I thought I could make it work with just you, but I can't." Those words, "you were never enough," would echo in Jennifer's mind for months. But in that moment, they also gave her the clarity she needed. "Get out. Jennifer, let's talk about this. Get out."
Now.
And he did. Just like that, 3 years of relationship ended with Jennifer finally standing up for herself and refusing to accept less than she deserved. 6 months later, Jennifer is thriving. She got a promotion at work, moved to a beautiful new apartment, and most importantly, learned to trust herself again. She cut all contact with both Ethan and Alicia, a decision that was difficult but necessary for her healing. As for Ethan and Alicia, their relationship lasted exactly 2 weeks after Jennifer kicked him out. Turns out, relationships built on betrayal rarely have strong foundations. Jennifer's story is a reminder that sometimes the most devastating betrayals come from the people closest to us. But it's also a reminder that we are stronger than we think, and that walking away from toxicity, no matter how much it hurts, is always the right choice. If Jennifer's story resonated with you, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Have you ever discovered a betrayal through social media? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might help someone else who's going through something similar. Until next time, remember, you deserve honesty, loyalty, and respect. Never settle for less.